These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
It's a Write That Down Wednesday. The OG edition of Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
On Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd. And we'll get to all that. We'll get to the accountability session. We're the only show, this and Purple Daily, that puts statistics next to our predictions. All the other sports talking heads are too cowardly to admit when they were wrong. They just breeze past it, right?
Yep.
But crazy breaking sports news just before we hit record here. This is wild. I'm still trying to catch up on this, but Adrian Wojnarowski, legendary NBA insider, Woj bombs, is retiring from breaking news and reporting and has agreed to become the general manager of the St. Bonaventure men's basketball program. The role includes name, image, and likeness allocation, recruiting, and supporting successful Bonnie's coach, Mark Schmidt. This is a statement from Woj. I don't know. Maybe I'm overblowing this to start. I feel like this is huge industry news. Like
it is. Oh, it's enormous enormous within the
This is wild. First of all, okay, so many questions off this. But so Woj says, I grew up the son of a factory worker 2 miles from ESPN's campus, only ever dreamed of making a living as a sports writer. 37 years ago, the Hartford Courant gave me my first byline. I never stopped chasing the thrill of it all. This craft transformed my life, but I've decided to retire from ESPN and the news industry. I understand the commitment required in my role, and it's an investment that I'm no longer driven to make. That makes sense, by the way. I've always wondered, like,
burnout.
If you're going to be at the top of your game, the amount of like there's no time where you can just be unplugged
24/7.
Yep.
And I mean, Judd, hell, you were the lead Vikings beat writer at the Star Tribune for a few years, and even like covering one local team.
The
it's
Favre
like
thing damn near killed me.
Yeah, it legitimately
got
like
divorced.
Yeah.
Nah, she wasn't going to leave me. I was surprised by that.
Yeah. So he says, time isn't an endless supply, and I want to spend mine in ways that are more personally meaningful. I leave with overwhelming gratitude for countless mentors and colleagues, subjects and stories, readers and viewers. No one has benefited more than me from the belief, trust, and generosity of others. So, yeah, he's gonna go run the St. Bonaventure men's basketball program, and that's a thing too. These college basketball and football teams are hiring general managers.
Yep.
Somebody else points out, NBA Central account, that Sham's contract with The Athletic expires this year.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's an easy hire.
Exactly.
There, right?
And for as much as they've competed in the last 7 or 8 years, Woj was Sham's mentor.
Yeah.
So like if Woj is just like, I'm done, it's the perfect time to be done, and then Shams who's young and energetic. So like this is going to be, I think, a very simple transition.
So apparently there's big meetings with in New York right now with numerous communications people, like PR people from every team at these meetings that are taking place right now, today in New York. And that news hit. And apparently, from my sources, that bomb hit that room like a nuclear warhead.
Like this is like NBA PR, like PR.
NBA PR.
Oh, okay.
So if there's 2 from 30, there's 60 people in a room. And there's a league meeting going on with PR people, and this comes across.
Wow.
That's wild, man. I mean, it would literally be like for if you're just a football fan, Adam Schefter steps down to go run not like the Michigan athletic department or the football team, St. Bonaventure. So Woj has basically said, I've made plenty of money. What is he? He can't be that old, right? Mid-50s?
I think he was born in 70.
He's like, I've made millions of dollars. I don't want to be chasing the same scoops. I'm just kind of sick of it all. And I just want to go do this next thing and make a lot less money, I would assume.
But I mean, privately at his age, it could be family. It could be a health scare. Like there's a lot of things. Because to your point, like Schefter, you cannot rest. You are not on vacation. You are the primary source because part of how this works is you can't just be like, hey, call the GMs and say, I'm taking 2 weeks off, so send the news to Jeremy Fowler. Just send him the news. Like, that's not how this works. So, yeah, this is intriguing. And the thing about this, too, insiders invariably almost never quit. They're fired or pushed out, because of age.
Yeah.
So,
well,
like,
I mean,
when's the last time a guy
reckless speculation here.
Wait, are you making a prediction?
No, I am not. Reckless speculation.
So you're going Thursday on a Wednesday.
Reckless speculation.
I mean, if Sham's contract was up and they didn't want to renew Woj for whatever reason, his demand was just too high. There's been cuts at ESPN forever.
He's
Maybe
not the
Woj
best
found a
personality
backup
on
plan.
TV,
Shams is better on TV too.
Maybe
he's younger, he's hipper. Kay loves it.
I don't think we can.
Kay Adams
I don't
loves
think
it.
we can rule out a push out. I don't think we can rule that out 100%.
I love where your head is at right now. I love where your head is at right now. It's devious.
I think I have a Woj prediction. Well, let's get into the accountability session here. Right?
Write this down.
Bombshell.
Write that down.
So here's how it works, and this segment goes back a decade to the old 1500 ESPN radio show, the Mackey and Judd show, that Declan used to fill in, produce once in a while, do those updates in the morning.
Please tell me now.
Shut up.
It's 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to participate, like our guy Jason, loyal listener, part of the Purple Daily Leadership Cabinet, Jason, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app, and we will get you scheduled. So let's start with Judd's accountability. Mixed bag, but in the end, I think you'll take these results. We'll start with the bad. You said Carlos Correa would not play again in the regular season. We missed this one. By we, I mean me. Back in July was the deadline. You said within a year, or by July 12th, 2024, there'd be a report that A-Rod has interest in moving the Wolves to Seattle. So I could, first of all, like, that hearing isn't even until November or December. And having lived in Seattle for a couple years, they hate A-Rod. So there would be a lot of mending to be done.
So they might boo him if he came back.
Yeah, they might boo him.
They might boo A-Rod. Please welcome Alex Rodriguez. Boo!
If you're wondering what that's in reference to, go listen to the Purple Daily edition of Write That Down.
Yeah, we're not going to share that with you right now.
You said Aaron Rodgers will return to play for the Jets in 2024. I'll check down. And then somehow I missed this one last week in the database, but you said a couple years back, like 2.5 years ago, Mike Zimmer will give an interview with an outlet in which he criticized the decision to sign Cousins and will criticize Rick Spielman. The payoff was worth the wait for that home run, Judd.
God, that was good. You knew it was coming. I was getting so disappointed for so long, right? Because it's like, talk, Mike, talk. Like, all he has to do is talk.
Yeah. Well, he was waiting for the...
Flap the gums, Mikey.
There might have been like some sort of agreement signed. Hey, right. we'll pay the rest of your contract out. You can't slander the organization.
And he was paid through last year, so that tracks perfectly.
3 things came off the board for me. We'll start with the bad. I said the Gophers would either not cover the 16.5 or they would trail in the second half against Nevada. Never a question about that game. Never doubt my Gophers. I said all these teams will cover the spread in week 1. I said the Bucs would cover the 7. The Vikings would cover the 6.5 easily for both. And the Titans would cover the 3.5. They had a lead, and then they lost by 7.
That's the risk you take.
Yep. Don't parlay kids.
And then I said after Zebby Matthews' first impressive start that he will make at least 5 more starts for the Twins, and he has made 6 more starts.
5 and fly.
He gave him what they needed last night?
Almost 5 and fly last night, right? It was 4 and something.
4 and 2, but he got into the 5th. 5 and fly.
He was good. I mean, good for him last night.
Listeners, rough week here. Mose said Aaron Jones will have 4 yards after contact, score a touchdown, and rush for at least 100 yards. Jared said Byron Buxton would play in 63 games or fewer between May 8th and the end of the season. It took him coming back from the injured list to get across that 63 games mark from May 8th until now. So he crossed that mark. And then John's family predicted Emilio Pagan would give up a home run to the Twins sometime this season.
Pitched against them.
Had to wait until that Red series, but it did not happen.
That's great.
And then Declan, pretty nice week here. We'll start with the bad. You said the Twins would win 3 of their final 4 games on the homestand. Not. You said Correa would hit a home run in his first game back with the Twins. You said Buxton and Correa would be in the Twins starting lineup at some point during this Cleveland series. And Buck would hit a home run in one of his first 3 games back with the Twins.
First game?
It only took him 1 game. And that's fairly close to being a home run, but his rate is like once every 4-ish, 4.5 games.
Exactly. I 12 opportunities basically at this. So, yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
So with that, I'm still leading the season batting average category, 391. Declan charging 375. Listeners 351. Judd 326. This is as high collectively as the batting averages have been this late in the season in a long time. Super Bowl to Super Bowl is the season calendar. Listeners with 10 home runs. The 3 of us each have 8 home runs on the season. Declan leads all time with a 362 average. Judd has 339 hits. And listeners have 65 home runs in their career. All right, let's get Jason in here making his return to write that down. Jason, what's going on with you, man?
Philip, Judley, Declander, it's great to be back here on Write That Down. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts? 2-0 to start the season here? Got the Texans coming up. Are you like, I saw somebody, I just checked my Instagram comments, and someone's like, let's be cautious with our optimism. Like,
hey, you know what? The way I look at it is now that they finally slayed the 3-headed beast that was Zimmer, Spielman, and Cousins, this is the most optimistic I have been as a Vikings fan in a long time. We got our quarterback of the future. Kevin O'Connell looks like he's going to be a top 5 head coach. This is what I've been wanting for years. So right. I'm thrilled.
That's the thing is, like, if this was a season full of like Super Bowl expectations, right? Then it'd be like, okay, this is great, but let's see. But this is a season in which we're excited by things that you just talked about. O'Connell's coaching. Darnold playing great through 2 games is almost gravy. So, like, that's the thing is, this isn't a season where it was like big success. The Sharps had you at 6.5 wins. So like, I'm all for, okay, they're not going to win 17 games. That's fine. But I don't think there's a reason to slow the excitement about the direction of the franchise. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah. So I never looked at this year as we have to make the Super Bowl or the playoff stuff here anyway. I mean, I agree with you guys. I always kind of looked at this as a transitional year, build upon the foundation they're making. I think, 2025 and beyond is when they're really going to, start going for that championship. So I know everybody online doesn't agree with me about that, but that's the kind of way I've always looked at it. So
it's hard to get everybody online to agree on things. I feel like. Yeah. So, all right, we're going to start with Jason, over to Judd, Declan, back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room as usual here, gentlemen. So, Jason, you are in the batter's box.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm just looking I wrote them down so I don't forget to say them. All right. So write this down. J.J. McCarthy, future Super Bowl winning head quarterback for the Vikings. I'm going to say that at some point this season, he's going to blow the Gallahorn at U.S. Bank Stadium.
Oh, great prediction.
I wish I had thought of that. Damn.
Love that. So he needed, for week 2, he wasn't allowed still, like, in the recovery process to be, they're keeping him at home watching the games, but I think maybe for week 3 he will be allowed, don't quote me on this, but I've heard sort of third hand that he may be allowed to watch the game, like, from the stadium. I would assume they'd put him up in a suite.
Sources?
Like I would say between like second and third hand are my sources on this. Yeah.
Your Woj
No, don't be pushed out.
Minnesota sports fans love to see their guys up there blowing the horn. So,
dude, Mike Conley got a crack at it this last weekend.
Yep. Well, I mean, Kirk did it, and they loved it.
Oh, it went ape leap. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it funny on Mike Conley how quickly Mike Conley's been here for like 10 minutes, and he has become a beloved Minnesota sports figure
because he fits perfect.
Yeah, he's a grinder. He's a nice guy, understated. Just a. Yeah, I don't know.
We love guys who are nice and were really good at one time.
Yeah, well, he's
Tommy
still really
was
good.
a perfect twin, right? But I'm saying he's a guy with a background where he's been a great player. Tommy, right? He comes
Midwestern values.
Exactly. Like, I mean, you couldn't tell during Tommy's time here. you couldn't tell that he hadn't spent his whole career here.
Yeah, it felt. Yeah, I mean, Jim Thome is one of the 20 most popular twins in team history.
Wow.
And
Is that a hot take? 20?
It might be. I
Maybe.
got to think about it.
Maybe. And then Judd got him to walk away from an interview. So
He wanted to get out of here, and it's fine. It's incredible what gets you like sideways looks in this market.
Like in a 99 loss season, trying to get Jim Thome to admit that he wants to be traded somewhere.
I told O'Connell.
Say it, Jim.
On
Say it,
Monday.
Jim. Say it into my microphone.
I told O'Connell on Monday in a question that he looked exhausted still, and I got looks. And O'Connell's like, yeah, you know, I do, and he's like, it's gonna get worse. I'm like, I know, and that's fine, but like the style of play, you look.
No, Kevin, you look terrible.
terrible.
Have you slept?
And somebody asked me, why would you ask him that? And I said, because I wanted to get his response to the fact that this win took everything out of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he should look tired. I
He
want
did.
my head coach to be gassed
Although-
after a game against the 49ers.
Although sources have since informed me that there is a suite in Kevin O'Connell's office where he can stay. Not just like an air mattress, not just like a bed. There's like, they built a suite.
Yeah.
A nice suite.
Like a little,
hope so.
is there like a hyperbaric chamber in
That's
there?
what I'm wondering, like what's in there. But I'd like to see
Queen
it
bed,
now.
king bed.
Oh, I'm sure
It's a huge office. Like they've shown it on
and I guess you can see
Netflix
it,
a couple times.
I guess you can see it behind him a little bit at times if he's at his desk or turned a certain way. Anyway, I just said you look tired. You look exhausted.
Write this down.
And you should. It's like got weird looks. Like, how could you ask that? It's like,
Incredible.
you know. Well, he
Just let
doesn't
the sports
care.
dad cook. Let the
40
former
years- he's
lead
40
Vikings
years
beat
old. He
writer of
doesn't-
the Star Tribune cook.
He
Okay.
doesn't give a damn, and he looks great compared to me. So let's call a spade a spade. Yeah, that's not hard.
Judd cook. Let
Amazing.
Judd cook.
Yeah. Just let me ask my damn questions. Anyway, all right. So write this down. I'm going to hop on this opportunity before my colleagues can. Write this down. Shams will succeed Woj as the chief insider at ESPN.
I figured you were going to go there. I do have a couple other Woj potential predictions too, but that was probably the easy. Yeah, I mean
Write this down.
you swooped in there. So he will. I mean, the prediction is Shams will work at ESPN, right?
Yeah.
Like okay,
Right.
that's the quantifiable part.
But he
Write
will
this down.
replace it's not like they're not going to get an insider before they just get Shams.
Well, they have to, don't they?
Shams' contract.
When's his
is up,
when
right?
his
I
well his
thought it was
contract
up.
with Stadium was up.
Yeah.
But with the Athletic, it still goes, I think, through the end of the year, maybe, and it's up. Is it up during the season?
Okay. Well, yes.
There's some-
So yes, he will work.
I just want to be clear that because
Yeah.
they could
Nope,
they
you're
could
right.
hire another insider as well, and so
Right.
so Shams will work at ESPN, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Write
Yes.
this down.
The Dexter.
All right. Write this down. There will be a credible report that Woj was pushed out at ESPN or didn't want to renew his contract.
That ESPN didn't want.
Yeah,
okay.
that ESPN didn't want to renew.
So it'll be
his
on them.
contract.
I love
Yes.
By
Yes.
what's the deadline on this? Is this
let-
in
let-
perpetuity? We don't want to be waiting for Woj
I don't want
to
to
die in 30 years.
Let's do 1 year. Can we do 1 year? Is that fine?
Yeah, throw a date on there, and I'll throw it in the spreadsheet.
Okay.
So by September 18th of 25.
Yep. Got it.
Okay. Man, maybe I'll make 2 Woj predictions. Huh?
Write this down.
Right. Let's start with this one. Write this down. Woj will be back in media within 2 calendar years. I'll say by the start of the 2026-27 NBA season. Woj will be back working in media in some capacity.
So does that include full time or what if I'm gonna throw something out here. What if he joins CNN for some report? Because that's happened. Would this would count
That
even if it
counts.
was like a one-time appearance?
No.
No, it would. This would have to be like a recurring gig. It would have to be
A paid gig.
a pay, and I would assume we'd be able to tell what's a paid gig and what's not. But like a recurring thing, a weekly. It could be a weekly podcast even. I guess technically he could start a podcast at St. Bonaventure basketball, and it would.
I feel like it
be
needs,
a loophole.
I feel like it needs to be a real gig though, like something that would take up his time to where he is like, it would sort of prove Dex right. So like if he gets a TV gig again at some point in time, that proves Dex right. He got pushed out.
Yeah, I mean,
But does a
can I
podcast
just
where he
leave it at?
talks about basketball count? Like what's the cutoff
I
line?
don't know. Does Dan Lebitard have a real media gig?
Well, but it's full time. If Woj goes full time, then yes. But like if it's a weekly podcast where he just talks basketball, I'd feel like that's not really being back.
What if he launches his own media network, like YouTube,
Then
podcast,
yes.
etc.?
Yep.
And it's a weekly. That's where I'm just going to leave it at.
Okay.
He will be back in media with a regular gig sometime before the 2026-27 NBA season.
All right.
Okay. Back to Jason here.
That's great.
Feisty.
All right. I got a question for you guys. And don't answer this because it's rhetorical. But do you know what time it is? I'll tell you what time it is. It's Tiffy time. So write this down. Minnesota's own Tiffany Stratton will appear in some sort of women's championship match at SummerSlam Minneapolis 2 years from now. So write that down.
Can't wait to bring Judd to the 2-day SummerSlam festivities in 2 summers. It's going to be great.
Wow.
Looking forward to it.
Bring Judd to, maybe we can get some ringside seats for the sports dad. Take in his first PLE event.
I want to see Judd out there in a Stone Cold t-shirt, just down in beers, just like
that'd be great.
Cold.
Well, that part I can
That'd be
handle,
great,
I think.
Yeah.
We'll get you some of those red
Write
beers,
this down.
Judd. You can just down them like Stone
I don't know.
Cold.
I don't think you can pound those. I think those red beers are meant to be savored. Deliciousness. But there are plenty of beers that can be pounded.
There you go.
True.
Write this down.
All right, back to Judd.
All right, I'm going to stay on today's theme. I feel like alive now. Woj and a weird resignation and blah blah blah. But I'm not going to do a Woj again. But I am going to turn to another media personality that I find to be in a very interesting and I don't think sustainable job. So, by the end or after the basketball season, so like give this until July. All right, Doug Gottlieb, who is the coach of the
Green Bay
Phoenix, and also hosts and is going to continue to host like a 2-hour Fox Sports radio show, will give up one of those 2 jobs.
Okay.
Now he could decide to resign from the Fox job during the season as well, but I don't see how it's sustainable once basketball starts to run a basketball program and then do a national talk show in which you're expected to be somewhat prepared.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot to ask. So
Where does he coach? Green Bay?
Green Bay. The
Green Bay,
I think
right.
it's Phoenix, yes. I think he's bitten off more than he can chew here. Green Bay liked him because of his connection with Fox, so it's a name, but I don't think it works. One of those 2 jobs he will no longer be doing by July 1st of 2025.
I love how many obscure college basketball references because of the Woj news and Judd inspired with the
Write this down.
Gottlieb.
I went to a Green Bay game once when I was covering the Packers. It was great. Feisty team. It's not bad basketball.
Did they win? Who'd they play?
Did they play I think they played Bradley.
Oh, that's a rivalry, right? Green Bay versus Bradley.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, those small D1 schools, basketball-wise at the time, were a lot of fun.
Feisty.
And can be good.
Okay, Dex.
All right, write this down. Got Bailey Ober on the mound for the Twins today in Cleveland. Got a depleted bullpen as well. They've pitched a lot of innings the last 2 days, so write this down. Bailey Ober will pitch at least 7 complete innings against the Guards today. 7 complete innings, at least, against the Guards today.
Need him. They need him.
Write this down.
Need a horse performance from Bailey Ober. All right, I'm going to make another Woj prediction. I'm just so shell-shocked by this news.
Write this down.
Write this down. So St. Bonaventure's men's basketball team has only been to the NCAA tournament once in the last 6 seasons. Looks like they also went to the NIT Final Four in 2021-22.
That counts. That big stuff.
So I will say, under the guidance of Woj, St. Bonaventure will make the NCAA tournament this upcoming season. They will be inspired by Woj. I don't know. Maybe Woj. It's probably too late for them to like use Woj's connections for NIL money to get a big time player. So maybe the benefit is more beyond this season. But they will. By the way, their coach Mark Schmidt. Mark Schmidt been there for 17 years.
Just done a great job. Great guy too. Great program. First class program.
I mean, it's not a bad program. It looks like in
Big
conference
tournament.
they've been 500 or better every year except for one dating back to like 2013. So pretty good program that Woj is taking over there. Okay.
Write this down.
All right, back to Jason for his final prediction.
All right. So for my final prediction, I'm going to do another wrestling one.
Nice.
And I believe in J.J. McCarthy. I believe in Kevin O'Connell. But there's one other gentleman that I really believe in. So write this down. That's right. Say his name and he appears. Joe Hendry will appear in the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match.
Oh, be great.
Dude.
I think Judd would like Joe Hendry.
Yeah, you would.
Why?
He's just kind of a goofy spoof character in wrestling.
He was wrestling in Woodbury on Sunday. They
I
did
was
a house show.
Oh, you
in
were there?
Woodbury.
Did you go?
I took a
Oh, you
picture
were?
of it. It's on my Twitter account.
I didn't know this happened, Jason, until Monday. I had
You live in
no
Woodbury,
idea this
dude.
happened.
How do you
And I'm
not know what's
pissed.
happening in Woodbury, dude?
Your awareness of the area is awful.
Well, that's self.
Yeah,
that
he
is a
was
reason.
at an MAW local promotion here in Minnesota. So they actually get a lot of big names. Once they had Bret Hart a couple months ago, I think.
Oh yeah, Ti.
Wow.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Wow.
Joe Hendry was there. He actually won the tag team titles with another local wrestler. So
Yeah, I
that's
saw
going to
that.
be interesting to see how that happens.
He's going to be spending a lot of time in the Twin Cities area. I feel like Declan needs to be, if Declan's going to be fully committed to life in the suburbs, he needs to
Yeah,
really
it's a
be on
house show.
the
You would've
social
loved that.
calendar for what's happening in
Go join
Woodbury.
the City of Commerce. Go join the board. Go,
I think
really
you should
lean in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they got their big. It's like their WrestleMania coming up in October, late October. So you should check that out, Declan, if you want to see Joe Hendry for yourself.
Might
Yeah,
have to.
could be
Judd,
great.
coming with me.
No,
All right.
but I mean that was basically in your backyard, dude.
Yeah, I
and
know.
you missed it.
I didn't know that was happening.
It's amazing.
Write this down.
Got to have better Woodbury awareness.
Your awareness.
Jason, since you have this life-changing platform once again, is there anyone you'd like to thank that helped you get back to this peak pinnacle moment?
Oh man, I pretty much think that I've been on here. I think this is my fourth time on here now. So I'm not sure who else to thank at this point. But again, I guess I'll just thank you guys once again for giving guys like me a platform to spew our goofy takes and just hang out with you guys, and the fact that you guys keep keeping it real. You don't drink the purple Kool-Aid. You like to keep it real, and guys like me appreciate that. So thank you.
Jason, thank you for being a lawyer,
A lawyer.
a
lawyer
loyal
too?
listener.
You never know.
That's Chase.
Until you get
A
my
loyal listener. Appreciate you, man. We'll see you again sometime soon.
See you guys.
All right, there he is. Hey, before we make our final predictions here, old Macadac got a nice teeth cleaning a few weeks ago. My first trip to Park Dental. So I was without a dentist there for a little while. It's a lonely feeling. Who's going to clean my teeth? Who's going to make sure that my cavities are either non-existent or fixed if need be? Well, I had heard some great things about Park Dental, so I investigated for myself and had a great experience. For over 50 years, Park Dental has been caring for and cleaning teeth in Minnesota and western Wisconsin. They treat patients of all ages, even people as old as Judd. And they're also a comprehensive family dentist.
Will they treat Woj now or no?
I'm sure they would. They would if Woj is looking for a dentist, a great dentist in the Twin Cities. They can definitely clean his teeth. So yeah, and there's a bunch of locations. You can find more at parkdental.com. You can find locations near your work or your home. I am certain parkdental.com to schedule your checkup. All right.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Final predictions here, Judd.
I'm gonna go with what I said, I guess completely off the record on the Tuesday show. I'm gonna put it on the record as I write that down because I fully expect it to happen. Are you listening to me, Philip John Fleck? The Minnesota Golden Gophers will beat the Hawkeyes on Saturday evening.
Wow.
And I have there's pressure here. Like I'm gonna put on some pressure.
Are you gonna go? Are you gonna join us at the game?
I'll be at the tailgate. Don wants me to get tickets. I don't have them. I don't really know if I want to get tickets because I got to go to the Vikings game the next day. And like, if I
Well, we
go
can
to
be responsible. We don't have to,
no,
can go-
but I'm just saying it's still up. College football still takes a long time to play. I'm not even talking being drunk. I'm talking.
What
just,
is it? 6:30?
Yeah, 6:30. It'll get done. It's just a lot of work to go. And then she always wants. Here's the thing with Dawn in sports. I love her but she always wants to leave.
I love
games.
her.
I love her.
Judd's
But
last words. I love
baseball,
my wife, but
she's like, I'd love to go to a Twins game. She hates baseball. So literally the fifth hits and she's like, hey, how much longer can we leave?
well,
and for football,
it's quicker now than it was 10
but
years
it's
ago.
the same thing. Like I think the last time that I took her to a Hawkeyes game that was here, I think we made it to halftime and then she's like, let's just go. So it's like, do I really want to get tickets to go to halftime? And by the way, when it comes to football, I am fine with staying home.
Football is great, especially like a college football Saturday.
Yeah.
You've got like on YouTube TV, you can
Yep.
just put 4 games on and you can just kind of toggle around.
But I'm saying too, like if I go down, if we go and tailgate, I'm fine with ducking out after that and just going home to watch the game.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'll see you over there. Maybe we can find some cheap tickets and
I just told you I
convince
don't
you
want
guys.
to find. No. The official company line is I couldn't find tickets. Okay.
Oh, got it.
Write this
It's
down.
so hard to find tickets. Yep. Okay, Dex, your final prediction.
All right, write this down. I talked about this with you guys on the Twin Show yesterday. I'm going to try to speak this into existence. The Twins will have a playoff spot clinched before the series starts against Baltimore next Friday.
Wow.
Now they'll need some help.
That's
Yeah,
that
magic
is a home
number is
run
9.
if it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
magic
Yes.
number is 9 right now.
Yes.
They need some help to get there, but yes, I'm going to say it's wrapped up by the time the game starts on Friday.
All right.
That's some Twins confidence right there that I don't know I have in me.
Write it down. You like writing things
Well,
down.
someone has to.
Well,
That's what I'm looking at?
how about Duran last night? And Jax was great then to finish, but I mean, you could see the wheels. But pitch the eighth.
What was up with? Did I see Varland was warming up at some point?
Yeah,
He was.
If they had gotten the lead, if they had pulled away, and you'll love this, Phil Mackey, if it hadn't become a save situation, Varland was coming in, but because it was a 3-run lead, Duran came in, which
So
I
if
know
they had
you
like
love
scratched
that.
across a 5th run to make it
But I
5-1,
know that
then
you
Varland.
love the technicality of what a save is, for instance.
These are must-win games. If let's say you're up 6-1,
I put
you close that bleep out however you have to. Don't mess
Yeah.
around.
and I thought
against
they did
that team.
the right things. The Jacks, this whole thing, Jacks, back to back. You can't care about that right now. And
These are basically playoff games right now. You've put yourself in a position where there's not enough room between you and the Tigers and the Mariners to be messing around.
Write it down. You like writing
and
things
now you're
down.
closing in on the Royals because they've been beat back to back by the Tigers, and the Tigers are closing in on all of you.
Okay, I'm gonna put this on the record. Usually there's a 12. I think statistically there's a 12% chance that 0-2 teams make the playoffs. I'm gonna tell you that the Bengals are gonna be one of the 12%. They always do this. They're like, aren't they like 1-13 or something in the first couple weeks?
And Burrows.
This is their thing.
Yeah, you're right.
So they played the Chiefs really close. That game could have gone either way at the end, but because they lost, people are doom and glooming. They're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna say the Bengals at 0-2 make the playoffs. Write it down. Now, because there's still a 12% chance, I will stump for this to be still like less likely that they make the playoffs. I will stump for this to be a home run.
So you just said they always start like this, but because it's 12%.
But they don't always make the playoffs.
We'll see what happens.
They don't always make the playoffs. But they will make the playoffs this time. Write it down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
So, all right, there it is. No more Woj bombs. Do you think when he sends an email now internally at St. Bonaventure University, is the headline going to be all caps, Woj bomb?
It'll be tweeted as well.
Get your
He'll tweet
your
out
family
all his-
ticket requests in for Saturday's non-conference game.
Woj bomb. What's for lunch in the calf? You're right.
His email signature, Woj bomb. So what's he going to do with his Twitter account? He has like millions of followers, right?
You remember when I left the Star Tribune and they took it?
Oh
they
my
took
God, yes.
They're gonna take his and give it to Shams. Shams gonna have 5 million followers.
Dude, Judd had like 20,000 followers on Twitter, and the Star Tribune's like, we'll just take those. What?
Well, and at the time, that was a lot.
That was a
back
ton.
then.
You had to start over, dude.
And that's back in the day, though, when that was like significant.
I would have fought for that.
Oh, we did.
Well, we did initially, but then it was like.
The lawyers.
By the way, Woj
basically said,
has
"Don't worry about it."
6.5 million followers on
I'm gonna unfollow
Twitter,
right
and he
now.
just changed his location. His location is now St. Bonaventure, New York.
I love Dex's conspiracy theory about this.
I think he was pushed out.
That's pretty strong. Dude.
I mean, I totally do believe. I mean, Schefter's told the story of like the Andrew Luck breaking news, like when Luck retired, and wasn't he like he was out to dinner with his mom's birthday or at a wedding or something, and he had to leave. Like, yeah, that lifestyle definitely burns you out, but I don't know, man. There's a bunch of moves. People have been being let go here,
and
left,
he was
and right.
making millions from them.
I mean, Stephen A is probably obviously the highest paid guy there.
Yes.
Who is second highest?
Greeny.
McAfee and Greeny.
Greeny.
But you're right. Like, he's probably top 5.
He's probably
Schefter might make more, but
Schefter makes more.
But your point stands.
Yeah.
And Shams is more gregarious on TV. He's younger. He's got the so there's a lot of I
think
I like your path. Like your path. I encourage you to continue this too.
Thank you.
Always look at what the dark side was.
Well, I'm gonna stop. But yes.
I like where you're going though.
Thank you.
By the way, I was just looking this to find because this is historic. I mean, this is one of the great sports insiders and reporters in the history of sports media. The last ever Woj bomb was on September 14th, so just 4 days ago.
Good trivia question.
And it was Isaac Okoro agrees to a 3-year, $38 million deal to stay with Cavaliers. A 23-year-old, 6'5" forward who averaged 9 points a game for the Cavs.
Woj was probably composing said tweet and said, Isaac Okoro, September 14th.
What am I doing?
What am I doing?
So true.
Like,
he missed his daughter's, like first day of school or some big life moment, and he was tweeting Isaac Okoro breaking news stuff.
Yeah.
I remember, and this is, peanuts compared to Woj, but I remember when I was about to leave the Star Tribune for the station, and the last breaking news thing I got, it was a Sunday night, and I got tipped off to, I think the quarterback's name was Rhett Bulmer. He had played for the Giants, and he was with the Vikings in camp, and he had been arrested in Mankato for a Dewey, and I got tipped off, and I'm like, well, I can't ignore this, right? And I remember I was driving to at the time, the temporary police station in Mankato on a Sunday night to get a police report to confirm this. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to miss this part.
I wonder what radio's like.
I'm not going to miss this part of it. I am not going to miss Rhett Bulmer, for a Dewey.
Just ruined your night, ruined your dinner. Rhett Bulmer.
But it was like so funny because it's like, the Favre stuff was pressure, but it's Brett Favre. But
yeah.
But I'm chasing a police report on Rhett Bulmer, who's as important in life as I am.
Yeah. No, that job. So being a beat writer, a sports reporter, or a beat writer, if you're an insider on the national level or a team beat writer, listen, like in a lot of ways, it's a dream job if you're into sports and you get paid to cover sports, but I don't think people understand, like, Woj's job was one of the probably hardest grinding jobs.
Yep, absolutely.
To stay on top all those relationships and be an information trader.
Yep.
People think, they just like float stuff to Woj. No, that takes, eventually yes, but you have to keep those relationships and be a trader of information and
and you also have to do things for like you have to spin stories in certain ways to keep your sources.
Yeah.
So like you're not a unbiased reporter. You're compromised, but it's worth it to get the information. It's a screwed up life.
Yeah.
I would never want that.
Yep. So, all right, there's your Write That Down Wednesday here. Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd, the Purple Daily version of Write That Down, also on your Purple Daily feeds today. Reckless Speculation Thursday with Dukes tomorrow.